Okay, and we're back. I know it's been a couple months since I uploaded, but since the complete solar boom in the industry, everybody wants solar expansion, installation, replacement. Everyone's doing anything they can to get that 30% tax credit before it goes away. And on top of that, we're still getting service calls to maintain and repair stuff. So it's been a little bit, and I'm probably going to try to make a schedule to be able to push out solar content, electrical content as a contractor here in the near future in a more steady schedule. But with that being said, today's video is going to be about energy consumption monitoring, specifically what I chose to put in my house, which is the Emporia Vue 3. Now, I chose this specifically because I have a 400 amp service panel with a solar edge system. Now, with the solar edge system on a 400 amp panel, it's pretty tricky to be able to get that solar edge monitoring in, right? I had to drill more holes. I've got to put a Cat 5 on there, and I have no room for customization in the future if I want to know different circuits and whatnot. And I just don't want to touch my solar edge inverter right now since everything's going well. There's no error codes, and we all know how it is with solar edge, especially with those home wave inverters. If they're going good, you just hope for the best. So with this Emporia Vue 3, the app looks nice, the real-time looks very accurate, and shiny new toys are always fun to play with. So here is the quick unboxing. Okay, so it's really straightforward what you get in the box, right? I mean, you can only imagine. So you're getting your energy monitor. Well, you get your couple documents. You get your circuit labels that no one ever uses, right? Here you go. Here's your home hub. Here's all the ports. Very nice, very nice. Now you have your little accessory box. Boom, there you go. There's your CTs. There you go. There's a little clamping action right there. Breaker that way. Just make sure it goes that way when you actually put it into your panel. Empty box here for you. Some wing nuts, some splice wire, your antenna, and your harness. Now, I couldn't get the camera to focus on the harness portion and what each label says, but here is the schematic that applies to my home and what I chose to use to wire to my house. Okay, installation is pretty easy. You got your Wi-Fi, get your little knockout, anywhere you can stick the antenna out. You get your red and your black straight to a breaker that's open, or splice if you can. And you have your white and your blue to your neutral bar, and that's about it. Yes, I do realize the CTs are not on, but I don't realize that until later when I go through the app. So when you open your app, go ahead and you add new device. You click your Vue 3 Gen 3, right? You press add. You follow the instructions. You discover your monitor, and then once it's discovered, it's going to ask you for your Wi-Fi. Go ahead and put that in. Once that's in and approved, go ahead and name your system. I named it Corey's monitor, something like that, right? Yep, Corey's monitoring. And that's it. Now, during all this, you have to do a firmware update. Firmware updates are one of the last things. And it should be good to go, right? Update, everything added. Now, here's your wattage that you're getting, if it ever focuses. Focus, come on. There we go. Total usage at the time. And here's some options you can deal with. Now, I do have solar in the house, right? I have a 60 amp breaker right there in the main service panel for my solar edge, but I don't have the CTs yet. And, once I have the CTs, I can kind of take pictures and update it from there. But it's not really that difficult. You just plug in you put the CT clamps around your solar wires, and that's it. It's all done. You just plug it into your main hub. You're all good to go. And here is the installation of the second Emporia, since you need two, because I have the main breaker and then the main breaker for the sub panel. But it's the same thing, same wiring, same everything. Make sure your breakers are facing, or make sure your CTs are facing the right way. Excuse the wire management. It's not the greatest. But yeah, that's it. Install's all done. Okay, installation of this is pretty simple. Now, the reason why I chose to only go with bare bone monitoring is because I'm not too sure yet what is kind of important to me. Maybe I want to do the AC. Maybe I want to try out the pool pump, see if I can get a more efficient pool pump. But the thing about my main service panel is that I have two main breakers, and it's not a 400 amp bus bar. It's not as if the solar is going into my main and then going to the sub and then going out to the grid. With my main service panel, each 200 amp breaker is sending and receiving directly to the grid. They do not cross over each other, right? So my sub panel will never send electricity to my main side. The main side will never send electricity over there. So my solar is on the main side, which means that when I'm exporting to the grid, and my export numbers are huge, it's not going to be accurate on my app. So what I have to do is kind of mentally or, physically do the math by hand myself. So whatever my main breaker or main side is reporting, like let's say I used, I don't know, 20 kilowatt hours for the day, even though I exported a bunch, but, I pulled back in a lot. And then let's say I used like 20 on the garage. I have to manually add that myself. Okay. So even though my export numbers are huge, let's say it's a positive, right? Let's say I exported so much. Let's say it's like plus 10 kilowatt hours or something for the day. And then let's say my garage sub panel is like minus 20 kilowatt hours for the day. I was a minus 10. I have to add it physically together, which kind of sucks, but no big deal. It's the best we got right now, and I think it was a pretty easy install, and the app's really nice. And I also think that Emporia has a lot of room for growth, so I do support their projects and products. So with that being said, if anything, please feel free to reach out. This is Corey with Panda Solar, and I'll see you next time. Bye.